Oh, I better rip these off so I don't make a
Wait.
noise.
Wait a minute.
Pause. Rolling.
Harrison, your screen image is that of a very earthy, very natural sort of person with lots of common sense and, above all, a great sense of humor. And yet, your claim to fame sort of rests on such roles as Han Solo in Star Wars or Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, and another wild and improbable adventure. And yet, I wondered, do you think that we love you precisely because you seem so completely normal and natural in the most outrageous circumstances?
Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know. It was hard for me to control the information in your question, but I think if people appreciate me, it's because they appreciate my work, and if they appreciate my work, it's because they have enjoyed the pictures that they've seen me in. I'm only a part of the process.
Yes, but you have to relate to that individual up on the screen, and there's no question of that.
But your description of my screen image is the product of the opportunities that I've had in the roles that I've played. You have no other way of knowing me.
Well, Harrison, how much of yourself comes out in the image of a character that you portray?
As much as possible. You use as much of your own experience, as much of your own capacity as you can. But what you use most of all is as much intelligence and discrimination as you can, so as to select behavior that is applicable to the movie, that helps tell the story that you're involved in. You don't create a character out of a vacuum. You create a character out of those things that are necessary to help tell the story.
All right, in Blade Runner, you, of course, it's interesting that it is somewhat your character based on the Sam Spade or the Philip Marlowe of the past, and there is a little bit of Bogart. It kept tweaking my memory somewhere.
Well, he's in your memory.
Yes.
It wasn't in the script. He wasn't
No.
in my mind. And I don't think that he was in Ridley Scott's mind, who was, of course, but we're all aware of that element. I mean, we all participated in the experience of all of those people, and it's part of our subconscious. But I don't think that it's imitative. I think as much as is that you as an audience supply the identification.
Well, hasn't it part to do with the fact that you deliberately, in the script, sort of went back to figures of the 40s or of that era?
I didn't.
But did the scriptwriter?
Well, if he did so, he didn't indicate it in the script. He spoke about us. He manufactured. He created a story that takes place 40 years in the future. He used characters that might well exist in that time, characters who we have enough contact and communication with to, I hope, emotionally identify with in the midst of strange circumstances. And it's all part of constructing a movie, hopefully one that somebody might want to see.
Now, Blade Runner was based on a novel. How closely did the actual movie follow the original script or story on which the film was based?
I never read the book, actually. I read the script, which is the material that we had to work with. That was what was going to end up on the screen. So that's what the only thing I really read.
Oh, so you didn't. But did you when you approach a role, by the way, do you try to get a past and motivations for the character only out of the script, or do you build up the whole history of that personality?
Well, there is within the history of a personality. As a human being, I have the history of a personality. I have the experience in of my years. I have the experience of how hopefully how to communicate ideas. And my characters, I mean, I have a story for myself, but I don't. It depends. In each case, it's different the degree to which it's necessary to have a fully fleshed out backstory.
Now, Blade Runner, apparently, someone told me, was not in the original book. And could you define Blade Runner and tell the audience what a Blade Runner is?
It's simply the name of a police unit of one of which I'm a member, and the name of that unit is the Blade Runner unit. They're responsible for the control of outlaw replicants.
When you saw the film, what did you think of these incredible scenic effects? And also, when you were making it, were you aware of being in that kind of horrible environment where there wasn't a tree or a flower or any green space?
Well, yes, I was aware of the environment. That's all part of...
And was it that depressing?
It could have been. I was too busy, I think, to be depressed.
Now tell me, Harrison, what is your personal view of the future of 40 years? Does that reflect in any way your concerns for our environmental pollution and the tons of nuclear waste that's sitting underground? Is this anything that has ever troubled you, or did this film make you more aware of it, or what?
Of course. I mean, I'm as concerned as I gather you are about the future.
Well, the film did have the impact of, I've always been a rather happy-go-lucky person, and I wasn't really concerned. I must tell you, I never thought about nuclear waste. But
Really?
Well, no, I didn't. It wasn't one of my overwhelming concerns. But the film did bring that out a little bit, and
Good.
I wondered if this is part of what you look for in a role before they cut me right off.
Yes, I
It
do.
is?
I'm glad that we've had this little chat.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
I have to cut.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harrison.